Hi folks, I want to share how I made this image using AI and what I'm learning about using AI in my design workflow. Sorry for the audio here. I'm in a coffee shop. I'm not at home in front of my good microphone. So this is not MKBHD level production, sadly, but I hope you enjoy the video nonetheless. So I'm an old graphic designer, I've been doing it for 20 years now. But I'm in the very beginning of my journey into using AI to create graphics and illustrations and logos, and I'd love to share what I'm learning. It's really blowing my mind. I've become a total believer in the last 48 hours or so. So first, what is Timbo? Timbo is a real company. Timbo is a tech startup building AI agents to handle your software engineering tasks. So these agents work in the background for you while you are refilling your coffee or making lunch. And it's important to note here that this is not Timbo's new logo or marketing. Timbo had nothing to do with this. I do know the Timbo crew. They're awesome and some of the smartest people I know for sure. They're awesome. And I did have coffee this morning with someone on the team. Shout out to Darren Baldwin. So this is not official Timbo stuff. This is really practice for me. And this is like practice for me using Midjourney. So this is practice. We talk about practice. This wallpaper graphic is 100% AI generated. And the asterisk here is that I did do a few things in Illustrator and Photoshop to clean up the image, which I think is going to be a part of the design workflow for a while still. So I made this using Midjourney Moodboards. I had used Midjourney in the past and I've used DALL-E, but I could just never really get interesting results. It was sort of neat, but I could never get something that really blew my mind. Um, or at least I could never like, get exactly what I was looking for. So I started using Midjourney mood boards yesterday, and wow, everything just sort of clicked for me, and now I am a believer. So I'd like to show you the process of getting to this image, and it starts with a fashion brand called Aimé Leon Dore. So this is Aimé Leon Dore. If you know, they go by ALD sometimes. If you know ALD, you'd probably love the brand. If you don't, it's a fashion streetwear fashion brand out of New York. It's kind of the hottest thing right now. So it's not exactly Timbo's vibe, but that's not really the point here. Don't get too hung up on that right now. It's not the point, and I'll explain more what I mean at the end. So this is Timbo's current site, and it's great. It's simple. I really like this dithering effect here. It's simple and clean. So Timbo is great. Check it out if you don't know Timbo. Awesome team, really cool product. They're working on some amazing stuff. So anyway, let's talk about how I made this graphic using Midjourney. So let's start back here. Let's start with this. So I had this idea. Like I said, I was inspired by ALD, and I had this idea to. I discovered mood boards, and I was like, let's look at like let's see what happens if I create an ALD mood board, and let's see what happens. So the first thing I did though before doing that is I tried to just write a prompt. So without using the mood boards, I just wrote a prompt and I just tried to explain what I was going for, script like font. So I was going for something like, let's see here. I was going for something like this. This is their kind of script logo that they use. So cool, just spot on stuff. But anyway, so I was going for this script, and I was like, just like be inspired by Hermes, fashion companies like Hermes, and brands like Rolls Royce. It should be sophisticated and you know be like inspired by these brands known for their craft and sophistication. Keep it smooth and modern. And the results. Let's get this out of the way. The results were interesting. I thought that was sort of interesting. It's sophisticated kind of, but it just sort of felt like a French bakery. It was a real French bakery vibe, and it wasn't exactly what I was going for. So that's when I made the mood board, and I didn't pull everything from ALD from their brand. I just pulled. I spent some time and kind of curated this collection here, and I really started with just these few. I didn't have these model shots in the beginning. I just started with a few here, and I did the same. Actually, I did a very simple prompt. Just write Timbo in a script, capital T, the rest lowercase, but use this mood board. And the results were really fascinating. So this first one's sort of an outlier. It's not the vibe, but this was interesting to me. I was like, this is style. That's got some style to it. This I thought was fun too. It kind of has this like Nike swoosh vibe. It's got some motion to it. This one was just like it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Um, Timbo also uses an elephant, sometimes in their branding. So I just for fun, I just make an elephant logo from this mood board, and this was really fascinating. Like this is blurry kind of, but that's just it's again not the Timbo vibe, but just being able to whip up this logo just based on this mood board with a really simple prompt was really just so fascinating. And as a comparison, I did the exact prompt before with just vanilla um, Midjourney, and the results were like exactly what you'd expect, like kind of weird, like just cheesy, kind of just whatever, bland. This kind of looks like the old Tempo logo, but it just wasn't really it. So compare that, compare these to where do you go? To this, like it's just something interesting and just really, yeah. So anyway, so I didn't really spend too much more time on the elephant. Then so I started thinking, okay, what's like a real world use case of using something like this. And I thought, okay, a company like Timbo, maybe they would have an illustration on their marketing website showing this is so funny. I meant to say software engineer, but I said data engineer, and it's just like old habit. So many years working at Astronomer, where data engineers are their target market, but I meant to say software engineer. But so a company like Timbo, would have maybe their target market is a software engineer or an engineer, and they might have a graphic like this, and the results were fine. They were just sort of like, I don't know, kind of boring. This one's just weird in so many ways. This is fine, but this style is just used by so many people. This is, every tech startup 5 years ago, this was the style. Apple has used this style a lot. Like it was very popular, but it's just not that interesting. So then I prompted using the mood board, exact same prompt, text, but I used the mood board, and the results were just more interesting. This one especially was kind of just got my wheels going. I love this. It's like this guy's in IKEA or something, and it just felt like just so interesting. This one was kind of fascinating too. It was kind of like a Leonardo da Vinci style. Um, I kept trying it again, and it sort of got stuck on this certain style that like this is cool, kind of, but it wasn't exactly what I was going for. I tried some variations on this guy, and but I'll say that what was interesting about this, or what this really brought this idea, like I like this. I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. It's like a young data engineer, software engineer. He's doing his thing. He's in a cool setting, and you could put a little Timbo logo, and it's like it might have a cool look to it. But and I thought, well, like, what if this guy just jumped up to grab lunch and he just left his laptop on the table or on his chair, and so I couldn't really figure out how to do that. Actually, I'd love to figure that out. But I started to prompt it in a way. So use an image of a man, but he's not sitting in the chair. But it didn't really get it. And plus, this was also after I I put these model shots in there, so you can really see how it affected. It just changed the whole vibe. It's like it's kind of a cool image, but not what I'm going for. So I did think that this one was like that's great though. That's just like tastefully done. But anyway, so it wasn't exactly what I was going for, and so I was kind of struggling, and eventually it was kind of like this is not it. That is not the vibe that I'm looking for. So what I ended up doing was I ended up instead of using the whole mood board, I really just selected a few of the images. Selected out the model shots and just a few images. Plus I used this one that I liked before as kind of an inspiration, and the results were really cool. Like this, get this out of there. This compared to this, same prompt, same prompt text compared to this, but totally different vibe. And I thought, okay, this is wow, this is interesting. So and I like this one, and this is the one that I ended up using, and I pulled it into Photoshop and kind of cut some stuff out, and I pulled this text from this graphic and pulled it into Illustrator, and you got to vectorize it and all that stuff. But that's how I came up with this final image. And yeah, so like I said, this is not necessarily Timbo's style, but what's so fascinating to me is that I was able to whip this up very quickly. I probably spent, I don't know, 30 minutes total on this. I was able to do this very quickly just based on something that I personally like. So, gosh, it's so interesting to think about what could be done pretty quickly if I really understand what Timbo likes and what Timbo is really about, and really explore and kind of just like use. I'm just really excited by this idea of the AI like really learning about an organization, the values and the mission, in addition to all their preferences and their style, and just to be able to whip up these graphics is pretty exciting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I can be long-winded, so thanks for sticking around. This is very exciting stuff. More to come.